It was pretty amazing. It was the first time in women's basketball that the Final Four had sold out. So every seat was sold. Our fans had purchased a lot of tickets from Iowa and Vanderbilt fans whose teams had gotten beat, and so there was a lot of red and black in there. There were a lot of people from Lubbock who went to Atlanta without tickets, hoping that when they got there they could buy some off the street, and most of them were fortunate enough to be able to get in the arena. But it was packed, and incredibly excitement all over the arena. I thought it was so interesting that there was that much buzz. And a lot of that was created by Swoops, I think. She was kind of the national darling in women's basketball at that time, and maybe the first one that had had enough TV exposure that nationally people knew her name and knew what she had brought to our program. So all of that, I think, was a combination of things that made it maybe one of the most exciting championships we've ever played.
And I have to honestly say, in 1993, I knew we were good, but I don't think I thought we were great, like had an opportunity to win it all. And it probably wasn't until after at the time it was the Southwest Conference, so it wasn't until after the Southwest Conference tournament that I think bells kind of started to go off, like, you know, we have an opportunity to do something special. And I tell people all the time what I loved about that 93 team, of all the teams I've played on since then, was the chemistry and the camaraderie and the friendships that we all had. Every single player on that team understood what their roles were, and everyone accepted that role. And I think that's what made that team so special and why we were so successful that year.
I remember Cheryl Swoops went off, which I remember that about half of our games that she played that year. But I just remember the atmosphere. I remember looking up behind our bench and seeing a sea of red, which was so cool to see all the fans that traveled to Atlanta to be there for us, and so many ex-Lady Raiders in the stands that were a part of it. You know, they were a part of getting us there. And I know that during the game it was just such a battle, and so exciting to play against Ohio State. And Katie Smith was a freshman, and she was very phenomenal and did such a great job, but Swoops just countered everything. And you know, it was just so exciting, and it really didn't come down. I think we only ended up winning by 2, but I think they hit a 3 at the buzzer or something to cut it. And so it wasn't like a super high pressured at the end to execute an offense. But at the same time, I know I missed several free throws down the line that kind of, you know, sticks out to me some. But it was just a great time. It was a great time, and unbelievable accomplishment for a group of West Texas girls.
In college, obviously, that's the ultimate, you know, to be able to win an NCAA Final Four, that's the ultimate. And, you know, I had a lot of friends that played on other teams, Stanford at the time, because Stanford was, back then, to me, Stanford was the Connecticut of today. And, you know, I'd always say, what does it feel like? Not to just win the Final Four, but just to make it to the Final Four. And seriously, they always said, you know, I could sit here and say, oh, it feels good, it feels great, but until you experience it for yourself, you never truly will understand the feeling that you get. And for me, I honestly feel like that was kind of the start of what turned out to be an amazing career for me. So it was definitely special to me then, and it continues to be something that I think about almost daily, and know that it's not something I'll ever forget.
Well, first of all, we had the greatest player in the country, and I think traditionally in women's basketball, the person who's had the player of the year has had the best chance to win the championship. Connecticut's great teams with Taurasi and Maya Moore, Tennessee's with Tamika Catchings and Candace Parker, us with Cheryl Swoops, now Baylor with Brittany Griner last year. You have to have that one player that can separate you from everyone else. But I also think that not only did we have the best player in the country, but we also had a team that understood the importance of playing significant roles to make that happen. Everyone's game went to a different level. They all were incredibly unselfish. They were all about the team winning, not anything about individual stats for themselves, including Cheryl. And I think all of that combination made us able to win at that level.
It was magical. It was unbelievable, and something that probably was beyond my wildest dreams. And it was quite a journey, and it was so much about our team and our chemistry and the friendships that we had, and just our mentality and how we didn't want to be denied. And it was just one of those things that as the season kept rolling on, it just became more and more of a more vivid picture of what great things and special things we could do as a team. And every game we played, we got closer and figured out that we were going to do something really special. So it was a lot of fun.
I'm excited about it. And you know what's funny? I was talking to someone the other day and said, I'm actually nervous about being, you know, all of us getting back together. And, you know, for me, this will be like the first time I've actually probably have spent time with any of those players from '93, because like I said, that was kind of I feel like the beginning of my career, and, you know, kind of started everything for me professionally. And to be back in Lubbock now, you know, I kind of feel like I have gone full circle. You know, this is where my career got started, and, you know, allowed me to travel the world and meet some amazing people and do some wonderful things. So, you know, looking back on it now and saying, wow, it's been 20 years to be back here where it all started. It's, you know, it's probably going to be emotional, but I'm excited about it and looking forward to just catching up with people and spending time with, you know, old friends, old teammates, and just having a great, fun weekend.
Well, first of all, it unified us. I don't think there's any question that this entire region had so much pride in the fact that we had a national champion at Tech. It was such an amazing experience for us, because all of a sudden everybody wanted to be around Lady Raider basketball, and we had had great fan support before that. We'd sold the Coliseum out several times years before we had the championship, but at that moment it just became such an overwhelming experience. I think that it just changed the perception of women athletes and women basketball players in this part of the country. I think one of my very favorite things, though, was how young kids really aspired then to become Lady Raiders, and it kind of set a tone that if they could play, they wanted to be here. And I can remember driving down streets in Lubbock where every driveway there would be a little girl with some Texas Tech shirt on, shooting baskets out in her driveway, and that was such an overwhelming feeling for me, because I was so excited that we had created that, for those dream opportunities for those kids.